Hello and welcome, I'm Fan and today I'll be taking on Horde-Crown on Extinction mode with Nim and Sahana. Horde-Crown comes from the mini expansion The Depths, from the main first wave of Aeon's End, and is the last nemesis that I have to take on from that wave on Extinction mode. Well, I've taken on before, but this is a recording anyway. Horde-Crown fits in with nemesis like, from the first expansion we have Carper's Queen and we have Blight Lord, which are all nemesis that spurs out something that the players then can react to on the unleashes. So the Carper's Queen has the husks, and the players can choose how to deal with them and how much risk they want to deal with. And the same with Blight Lord, they can choose how to destroy them and they can mitigate the damage that the unleashes kind of do. And in the same way Horde-Crown does the same, because it has these trogs that we'll go into. Has the unleash, shuffle the trog discard pile into the trog deck, draw a card from the trog deck and place it into play. These are the minions that it sort of has. Increased difficulty, all trogs have 3 life instead of 2 life, so they become more difficult to deal with. Right, so it has 3 of these trogs, orbs, youths and sums. And then when they're entered into play, there is a bad, a negative effect that happens. And when they discard, they go back into the trog discard pile, so they can be shuffled back in and come back out later. And for setup, we just place one of them. We shuffle up the deck and place one of them into play. And it has 60 life, 70 life on Extinction mode. Let's see these trucks. There are 3 of them. So we have the Sum here. So it has various effects. So when first one is put out, nothing happens. When the second one puts out of the same truck type, in this case the player with the lowest life suffers 1, 3 Sums. Any player discard 3 cards, and 4 Sums. Gravehill suffers 1 damage for each truck in play, so not just the Sums. And then for all of them, when the 4th one is into play and had its negative effect, they are discarded again and can come out later. We have the Orb, which damages Gravehill, 2 Orbs. Gravehill suffers 2, 3 Orbs, Gravehill suffers 3, and 4, Gravehill suffers 5 damage. And then discard all the orbs. The youth is player damage, so 2 yachts, any player suffers 2, 3, any player suffers 3 damage, and 4, the player with the lowest life suffers 4, and then discard all the youths. So they can be quite hefty to deal with. They have 3 life and increased difficulty, and that's about it. I'll just shuffle this up and put it back down. Alright, that's shuffled up. I'll place that there, and let's go into what we want to do and how we want to deal with this Horde-Crown. So for mages, we have 2 mages from the Depths expansion. We have Nim, which has the ability to discard a top card of the Nemesis deck, and if it's an attack card, you may discard an additional card. So it's only really good if you hit round 3 and you aim to deck out the Nemesis, because then it can make it faster, buy you some extra additional rounds there. But other than that, we are not going to use this ability whatsoever. It's when you want to take it down by damage, this does nothing. This does literally nothing. It's just a waste. But what we are here for is his character card, his Cinder. Cast, deal 1 damage or gain 2 ether, and we're gonna use this on turn 2 to really go high on the buying power. We're gonna buy Riskwood Amber on turn 1, and that way we have 7 easy ether for Disintegrated Scythe later on, which is gonna deal a lot of damage. So we're gonna aim to get a high spell early on with this without having to buy a lot of gems. That's really the strength of Cinder. You can buy a 7 cost card naturally by holding on to a lot of crystals but then you end up with like a really wonky deck that's really going to be slowed down and so on. So I prefer to go for the Wristwood Amber, also help with opening of breaches and going to the Blasting Staff later on. So that's what we're doing. So Nim will be our main guy to dash out, deal out some damage against Horde-Crown to take it down. And then Sahana will take more the controlling, stabilizing role, because she will be, yeah, taking care of the minions. Also, she has the ability Sanctum Glyph. Greyhole gains 7 life, which is fine. It's quite nice, especially to mitigate some of the damage that might come out of the trucks, and also allows us to say, okay, yeah, we can allow that type of truck to run a bit rampant and focus on the others because we have Gravehold healing. So it helps stabilizing the game a bit that way. But what we are mainly here for is the Eternal Ember and her good breaches. She has really good breaches. Eternal Ember cast, deal 1 damage, or cast one of your prep spells without discarding it. So that way we can get a good spell and basically double use it every single time, getting a high efficiency out of it. So we'll be using Amplify Vision so that way we can focus our breaches really fast. And also because it has the deals 2 damage, but if it's in 4th breach, which because of her breach setup is almost already open, and we're gonna open on our turn 1 actually, it deals 3 damage naturally that way, but not really naturally. But that's the exact amount of damage we'll need to take out the trucks, so we can take out a lot of them that way. Yeah, so I think that's all from Sahana, so let's go into the supply setup. We have Wristwood Amber that I talked about with Nim, that he can reach up for a higher cost spell that way really early on, while still having Ether to open up breaches, go for a Blasting Staff and so on. Yeah, he has really bad breaches, so we really need that. Stiff Dispel is just there to to be there. Vanishing Topaz is also only just to be there, and also to showcase some of the stuff that's in the Death expansion. So Vanishing Topaz, gain 2 Ether. You may place any card in hand on top of your deck. If you do, gain additional 2 Ether. Usually this is really weak, and yeah, we're not really going to use this here. We have Blasting Staff to increase damage output of Nim, because we're only going to buy 1 spell, and that way we can get high efficient usage out of a high cost spell for a lower cost relic. Blasting Staff, you may cast a prep spell that you prep this turn. If you do, that spell deals 2 additional damage. Nice. We have another card from the depths. 4 cost, Whim Dynamo. Suffer 1 damage, any player draws 2 cards. Or destroy this, any player gains 2 life and 1 charge. It is mainly here just in case we're gonna suffer a lot of player damage, and we can buy 1 Whim Dynamo and get a little bit back. Late game where, yeah, damage might not. We might have the right amount of damage, but we just need to survive 1 turn more. But usually we're not gonna aim to buy this. Another spell from, well, a spell from the depths. Another card from the depths. 4 cost, Void Bond. Cast, deal 3 damage. You may cast any player's prep spell. It's quite nice to line up a lot of spells and then only cast 1 of them to cast everything, and also cast something from the one of the other mages to have something prep, but then you can get it out into rotation a lot sooner. Yeah, it's quite nice. But we're not aiming to buy this really. Amplify Vision, I was talking about this with Sahana. 4 cost, cast, focus your close breach with lowest focus cost, deal 2 damage. If all of your breaches are open, deal 1 additional damage. So once she has opened up her breaches, which is quite easily done. It's not, her 2nd and 3rd breach is not the best, but of course her 4th breach is open all the way, well, from the beginning more or less. And we're already dealing the amount of damage we need to take out the trucks, so it's just a matter of time to get into late game. We're just gonna mass buy Amplify Visions, maybe a Blasting Staff at the end, and that's gonna be it. We have a Wildfire Whip, just because if we can calculate that we just on 2-3 turns ahead, we just can prep Wildfire Whip, and that will be enough to cast itself to deal the amount of damage that we need to take down the Nemesis. It's quite fine, but we're not aiming to really use this. No, Disintegrating Scythe, that's where we are. 7 cost, cast, deal 8 damage. That's one of the highest damaging spells that's in the game, I believe, like at least for natural set damage. But when you do, you suffer 1 damage. Instead of discarding this, destroy it or place it on top of any player's discard pile, so well, at least you can let it travel around team in case they need it, well, they have more health and so on, or you can destroy it if you don't have any more life, but well, this is gonna help burn down Horde-Crown really fast, really nice, especially together with Blasting Staff, a relatively thin deck, even though we're not gonna destroy any card. Yeah, that's our supply, that's our mages, that's our game plan, that's Horde-Crown. Extinction mode, we are playing with 10 extra health on the Nemesis, so 70 instead of 60, with 5 less health on Gravehold, so 25 instead of 30. Oh, and I should set up some life for our mages, because they have 8 life instead of 10 life, so it's gonna be way more difficult to deal with everything, but it's what it is. I think I have explained everything I wanted to explain. We're only really gonna buying Wristlet Amber, Blasting Staff, Amplify Vision, and Disintegrating Scythe, so there's that. There's a lot of extra stuff here that really doesn't need to be here, but it's what it is. Right, let's get into the gameplay and let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the top card of the Horde-Crown, the truck deck. And we have you, and we're gonna put that into play. Right, so when the second one comes into play, it will be 1 pound damage. And let's see how that goes. We start. that would go into the Amplify Vision, but I guess that's just like kind of the deal with this Nemesis, kind of. So yeah, just discarding 2 over here. Alright, so Sahana. I guess we could focus our second breach because we have to do that eventually. 5. Because then it might come up together, but then we would have too many spells as one. So it's just Eternal Flame for 2 damage, taking the Yud down to 1, prepping the Spark, 2 crystals, 2 ether, 1 charge. Okay. Alright, I'll shuffle up. Let's see what happens in round 2. We're starting off with Nemesis, who I have nothing, triggers, unleashing twice. And we have a Psalm, so now next one will trigger a negative effect. So yeah, let's see what it is. And we had another Psalm, so 2 Psalms. The player with the lowest life suffers 1 damage. Which, yeah, in this case can be either, but I think I'm just going to take on a Sahana because Nim will begin to take damage on Disintegrating Scythe quite soon. That's 7. Right, so that was the 2 unleashes there. We draw a new card. And Night Raid. Unleash twice and then discard a Trog in play. Right, so let's see what it has in store for us. We have quite an early opening. Right, so we have a Yacht. So that's the second Yacht, so any player suffers 2. And it's just going to be Sahana over here going down to 4. And we have a second one, and it's a Psalm. And then any player discards 3 cards. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, it's just going to be Sahana again, but yeah, I think so. Alright, and then we discard 1 in play, and we're going to discard a Yud because we don't want to take any more damage. Good, so yeah, that's it from that. Gonna have another Nemesis turn, of course. Crushing Masses. Power 2, if there are no Trogs in play, unleash twice, otherwise Greyhole suffers 2 damage for each Trog in play. So we really want to begin to get rid of some of these, but at least it's next round. So we might have some time to deal with that. Right, so we have Nim. So yeah, it doesn't really matter with the sparks right now, so we can just focus up our 4th breach and prep our spark there, I believe, because to keep the rotation a bit better. Whoop. Yeah, we have Nim again. So we have to get rid of both the spark, so that's 2 damage to a Psalm going down to 1. A Spark taking out the Yud for 1 damage. And then prepping, using 4 ether to focus up our 4th breach. Prepping Disintegrating Scythe and then Cinder over here. That's it for Nim. Because that means next turn we can cast the Disintegrating Scythe and buy Blasting Staff on top of it. Right, so 2 Sahana turns. Let's see how this develops. So 1 damage to, well, we can just delay that. We're just gonna buy a charge. So going to 2 charges, so at least we have some Greyvault healing. Yeah, I guess. Good. So now we can begin to buy some Amplify Visions. It's quite delayed because of all the discards, but it is what it is. So 1 spark to take out this Psalm here. We'll shuffle them in once it unleashes. Eternal Amber, and for 4 ether for an Amplify Vision. There's another Eternal Ember coming up. Okay, so it looks... yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about this right now. I guess we'll go into round 3, the last round of tier 1, and see what's gonna go down there. So I will say, yeah, we have suffered a lot. Sahana has been quite delayed when it comes to getting Amplified Visions, so yeah. Starting with Nim, so we're gonna have the first disintegrating scythe damage and the first Horde-Crown damage. That's 8 damage, going back to his own, going down to 62. So, well, as soon as they begin to come out, you can really begin to feel the damage that they deal. And then he takes 1, so it goes down to 7. Can cast Cinder now, I suppose. How does that work with degradation? Roll 5. Yeah, I kind of don't want that. Oh yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Because then we can deal 1 damage here to one of the Psalms, and then let Sahana take it out. Good, and then for 5 ether, we're just gonna buy a Blasting Staff. Good, and draw 5. And as the 4 ether, we need to open up our 4th breach exactly, and then we can just begin, yeah, turning out that damage. Have Sahana. That's the Eternal Ember, dealing 2, taking out that second Psalm. So, well, now Greyhole will only take 4 damage at least. That's a Spark here. Yeah, we're not going to take out any more. Well, it can unleash a few more times, I suppose. 4 ether, that's going to be another Amplified Vision, I believe. And don't worry about having too many spells there, because the other Amplified Vision will just open up for it, if that turns out to be an issue. Good. Okay. Vowen Sky. Discard 3 cards in hand. Power to unleash any player suffers 4. There's a lot of discards. And this is one of those that you really want to get, I really want to get rid of personally. Because suffering 2, especially on Extinction mode, is quite fatal. And it's like discarding 3 cards is annoying, but it's not a big deal. And especially because it unleashes, that means another Trog into play. That's, yeah, another 3 damage you have to deal anyway. So, right, so good. So this triggers Crushing Masses. There are Trogs in play, so we go to the second clause. Greyhold suffers 2 damage for each Trog in play, so that's 4. That's 21, so that's not too bad. And it's not like we went out of our way to do something we didn't want to do anyway. Good, what's the last one? Oh, so no minions in tier 1. Bleed Static, power free. The player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. Yikes. Especially now that we're getting into tier 2. We usually want to, you know, have a lot of spells prepped to begin to deal with all the minions, but now, like, Bleed Static, yeah, let's, yeah. Okay, so we have Sahana again. We can, yeah, we're gonna use that Spark to take down 2 to this orb over here. Because next time Sahana goes, Amplify Vision will deal 3 damage. To take out some cleanly. Go 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, I just want to buy another Amplify Vision, honestly. Even though like it's quite bad investment from the focusing part on it, but I think we just need the damage more than economic efficiency. So that's my thinking right now. We don't have to fear not being able to prep them right now because, well, Amplify Vision will focus your other breaches and then you can begin to use them anyway. Good, so we have Nim coming again. So that's what the 4 ether I was talking about for opening up our 4th breach. So now we're really online over here. There's not much more Nim needs to do. Well, usually you would begin to focus, begin to charge up and everything, but Nim doesn't really have an ability to speak of, especially not in this scenario where we just want to run down the Nemesis as soon as possible. Alright, so Nim is ready to deal 11 damage more or less every second turn, so each round deal 11 damage plus lose change. So, well, let's see how that's gonna unfold in round 4. Oh, I just realized I was so focused on the mages that I forgot to look at the powers that are in play. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, we have Nim. So that's gonna work out just fine. Gonna deal 2 damage with the spark here. And I think that's just gonna be the orb. Prepping Disintegrating Scythe, Blasting Staff it out, so that's 2 additional damage. So 8 from naturally, 1 from the breach, so that's 9 plus the 2, that's 11. Damage straight on, so down to 51. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that will get the Blasting Staff out of position, but we kind of need to deal with that bounce guy. We can't really rely on having Sadhana going next. So we're gonna discard those 3 cards. We should really have discarded on Sadhana last turn, but then I was like, oh, another Amplify Vision. But no, yeah. So that's gonna delay our damage a bit, but I think it's still better than taking that damage right here. Is what it is. Yeah, there we have the Nemesis turn, so we really needed to do that. 2. Pulverizing Ray. Ooh, tough one. Power 1. Gravel suffers 18 damage. The players may collectively discard up to 6 gems. For each gem discarded this way, prevent 3 of that damage. Actually, I would really like to see Nemesis go again now, at least before Nim goes, because like 5 gems in hand really doesn't need any of them. Just discarding them would be really nice. Of course, spoke too soon. So he has 6 ether. What are we gonna do with 6 ether? Because there's nothing really more we want to buy. I don't know. I guess maybe from a Void Bond? Just to have some damage, I mean. Also to link up with Blasting Staff anyway. So yeah, just Void Bond, and then for the 2 ether we're gonna focus up our second breach, because no, like, why should we put them into charges? Well, is what it is. Gonna have Nemesis go now. And now I actually really don't want to discard them over from Nim, because yeah, you want to use the crystals to open it, focusing up the second breach to have this 3 spells prepped. But I kind of have to, I think. That's the 3 crystals over here. And there's going to be 2 over here. There's only 3 damage left, so well, yeah, that could have turned out worse. It could have turned out better. I guess we're punished. This one goes down to 1 as well. I guess we're punished for our misdeeds. And drawing a new card, we have Rapid Hysteria. Immediately unleash twice, and power 2, any player suffers 1 damage for each truck in play. Well, yeah. Right, so we'll just shuffle up these discarded trucks and get them back out. To be fair, we haven't seen any unleashes in a while, so I guess we had it coming. We have the orb over here, and we have a Yud, so that's quite spaced out. We appreciate that to a large extent. Right, so yeah, so Hannah's gonna go twice now, I believe. Yeah, so that's 3 damage from Amplify Vision, focusing up that breach, taking out the Yud. We really want to mitigate player damage right now Eternal Ember, Amplified Vision, because then Eternal Ember can go twice. Eternal Ember can make Amplified Vision go twice, dealing 3 damage on each cast, so that's going to be perfect to take out all the drugs, the Psalm and the Orb. And yeah, we have Sahana, so Eternal Ember is going to go first, allowing us to cast Amplified Vision without discarding it, so that's 3 damage. Taking out the Psalm, focusing up our second Breach. Then we're going to cast it naturally, 3 damage, taking out the Orb. And focusing up our second Breach. And now we are in a bit of conundrum, because we can prep 2 spells, but then if the Nemesis goes, we are in a bit of a rough situation, because, well, we suffered 4 damage, we have 4 health. So what are we gonna do about that? But then again, like, what if we don't and then we go? Like, what happens then? And I hate those situations, and it just feels like the best thing you can do regardless is just prep all your spells and hope it turns out well, because no matter what, you're gonna be in a bad situation. For free Ether, there's nothing really out there we want, so we're just gonna focusing up our third Breach. Yeah. Ooh, if Sahana goes, yeah, that would have been really nice. Well, I guess we'll check back in round 5 and see how that goes. Yeah. Well, Nim goes first. That's gonna be 1 damage towards Horde-Crown, so well, that's 20 life already gone. And then we're just gonna prep 2 spells, because then at least, you know, we can take the damage on Nim, goes down to 3, which is gonna be okay-ish. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So only draws 4, because yeah, 1 spark left in hand. Or Nim goes, yeah, twice. Of course. So that's gonna be 9 damage, bringing it down to 41. We're getting close. 6 life. We're getting very, very close to just... Ah, I see the combo here. Anyways. We're getting close to halfway with Horde-Crown. Good. Alright, so that's Cinder here. Is that gonna deal 1 damage to give us 2 Ether? Do we want the Ether? I don't think so. Just down to 40. Then we're gonna prep Void Bond and blast it off with Blasting Staff to deal, well, 3 plus 1, so that's 4, plus the 2, that's 6. So now we are officially past the halfway point, down to 34. And you may cast any player's prep spell, so that's gonna be the Amplified Vision over here to deal, what, yeah, 3 damage. And focusing up our, yeah, lowest breach with the lowest focus cost, going down to 31. And that way, we make sure that either mage only gonna take 2 damage, no matter what. For free Ether, we are just going to focus up our third breach, doesn't matter whatsoever, and then hope everything lines up somewhat fine. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's, yeah, the Blasting Staff is, yeah, not in good condition right here. We'll see what we do about that. So Nemesis can actually go now. Never mind, yeah, fine. And then Sahana is of course gonna go again, and they're like, yeah, whatever. Only slightly salty. So we have to cast that Spark for 1 damage, going down to 30. And we have 5 Ether. What are we gonna do with that? Like, we can go in for a Blasting Staff, I guess, because we only have 2 rounds left after this, where we, yeah, optimally gonna deal damage, so we could buy Blasting Staff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, which would not be too bad. Yeah. Could also buy a Vim Dynamo, hopefully go twice in a row before Nim, and allow him to draw 2 cards, I suppose, to get his deck synced up again. That could be fine. Or just focusing, open up second breach, focus third breach, get 2 charges. We don't really need to focus on Gravehold Life right now, it's fine. What do I want? What do I want? I don't want the Wind Dynamo. I really want the Wind Dynamo, honestly. Get Nim synced up again. Yeah. It might not be the best idea, but it kind of feels like, yeah, it kind of feels like a nice thing to do. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we have to go twice. But yeah, I think, yeah. Oh yeah, I see my next hand. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna revert that. I'm sorry, Vim Dynamo, you're really nice and all, but yeah. So we're gonna open up our second breach. I forgot about all the spells coming our way. Yeah. Shoot. Good. Nemesis, fine. Bleed static. Nim takes the 2, it goes down to 4. I'm still quite happy about the Void Bond Blasting Staff combo right there. Felt quite nice to make sure that we're not going to take that much damage. Oh, Horde-Crown. Immediately unleash. Horde Hybrid. 7 health. Immediately unleash. This minion becomes a Trog of the type that has the most of its type in play. When this is discarded, place it in Horde-Crown's discard pile. So, yeah, we're gonna shuffle this up, and whatever comes out, it becomes one of those, and will be triggering on Rabid Hysteria. Let's shuffle up and see what happens. Okay, so hopefully it's not a Yud. Hopefully it's the one that deals damage to Gravehold. It's a Psalm. Cool, so that's 3 health, and then it becomes a type of the ones that the most of already. So that means that, the player with the lowest life suffers 1, so that's gonna be Sahana over here, going down to 3. And yeah, it's kinda it. Felt, yeah, exactly. We went from 0 to 2 all of a sudden, so Sahana's gonna go down to 1. Because we're gonna keep some life over here. That's Rabid Hysteria, almost went unscathed from that. Okay, we have Awaken. Unleash twice in Gravehold suffers 3, or place the most recently discarded minion card in the Nemesis discard pile back into play. We don't have any minions whatsoever, so we are forced to take the Unleash twice. We have the Yud, and we have an Orb. So, well, at least they are relatively, separated out, and Gravehold suffers 3, which is fine so far. Okay, yeah. Sahana can't really do anything, so it's just gonna be 2 Amplify Visions prep naturally, 2 Ether left over to buy a charge, going to 3. Yeah, and Eternal Ember left in hand. It's still better than just the actual spells. At least there's a new Amplify Vision to play with there. Yeah. This can really go either way for me right now, for us. Right, round 6, I suppose. It's gonna be, we are more or less at the end, so let's see how that checks out. All right, let's see what's in store for us. We have a Needlemore, 11 life, persistent, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. At this point, we really don't want to deal damage to it, deal with it. Gravehold is so far quite healthy, so it should be fine. But we do want to deal with some of these pesky, hybrid Horde-Crowns. So that's 4 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, because we're opening up the last breach as we cast it. To deal 4 damage to that butte, to get rid of that. And at that point, I don't want to get, rid of the Horde hybrids as well. Amplify Vision dealing 3 damage because all the breaches opened, so we're gonna take out that second sun. But then again, no, I think it's better to leave that on, because what we really want to avoid is the second sun, and we are fine on discarding cards now. We're fine on taking Gravehold life damage. So the best thing we can do is just let it go out on its own and focus on taking down the Nemesis. So actually the order would have been the second breach to deal 3 damage to take out that, and 4 damage to deal to Gravehold. Horde-Crone. We're not going quite edgy yet, and those who have played Legacy knows what I'm talking about. So Eternal Amber, Amplify Vision, Spark Trap, 2 Ether to a fourth charge. Yeah, let's see if we are allowed to do that. Cool. Okay, so Eternal Amber first to deal 1 damage and cast Amplify Vision without discarding it, so 25. And then this deals 4 damage on cast, going down to 21. And then we cast it naturally to deal 4 more damage, down to 17. Yeah, maybe we'll be there. 5 Ether, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. I think we just want to buy Blasting Staff, but then because two turns from now, we will turn into something. But then again, that's next round. Yeah, we're gonna get that Blasting Staff. Nemesis goes, so that's Gravehold suffers 2 down to 13. That is getting quite risky now. Yeah, Cauterizer at 3 health. Cauterizer. When damage is dealt to this minion, reduce that damage to 1. Persistent, any player suffers damage equal to this minion's current life. That might suck. Oh, Nemesis already went twice. Okay, so we good. Nim goes. We can just wait with the Spark for next time around. What's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. We want to open up our 3rd breach to prep all the spells that we're gonna have in store. Yeah, I'm not gonna have everything. Kind of want to just leave Disintegrating Scythe in hand, almost. We'll see. Good, so that's going to be the Spark to take down Cauterizer to 2. No, we're going to prep Disintegrating Scythe to deal 9 next turn, bringing it down to 8. Void Bond and Cinder. That's 4, 5. That's 3 health left, I guess. And Spark. Yeah, so if Nim goes again, we just won. Like, yeah, we can almost deal with this. It's if Nemesis goes twice in a row, we might have an issue with player health. Well, we have an issue with player health. Nim is gonna go down to 2. Zahana goes down to, well, -1, dealing 2 damage to Gravehold. So that's 9 plus whatever it's gonna come out. Yeah, I'll just shuffle up and we'll get back to this. Okay. We can survive 1 Nemesis turn, so that's 11. Cauterize deals 2 to Nim over here, goes down to 2. We have Venomite. Venomite. Persistent, the player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. Or any player discards a prep spell that costs 3 either or more. 9 health. So at least we can discard some stuff for that. Though we don't really want to, but if we have to, especially if it goes again, we kind of have to, because otherwise we're gonna suffer too much damage. So Sahana goes, not really what we want to see here. Deals 1 to cauterizers to go down to 1. So we're gonna have less damage to suffer from there, and 2 amplified visions, that's 8 damage. Not quite enough, so for 3 we're gonna focus charge up to 5, and that's gonna be all we need to, there we have it, to heal Gravehold 7. So it goes back to 18. That at least sounds much more manageable. We have some spells to discard on Venomite, so I think we're fine. And even, yeah, if Sahana goes now, so... Okay, well at least we're stabilized down to 16. Nim gonna take that 1 damage. That's actually an issue for Disintegrating Scythe. Oh, we forgot to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. But at least you can go twice, so it's fine. Okay, we draw a new card, and it's Servitude to Evil. It's fine, it's fine, everything is fine. To discard, spend 7, power 2, unleash 4 times, then discard 2 tokens play. Because, well, we're aiming to win before it can even attempt to go again, we are super fine. Good, we have Sahana, so that's the 8 damage. Taking down Horde-Crown to 9 health. And then we have Eternal Ember, Amplify Vision, Blasting Staff, the Eternal Emperor. Well, and a charge, I forgot to decharge. Goes to 1. Charge, okay, so Blasting Staff, Eternal Emperor for 3 damage. Down to 6. And then casting Amplify Vision without discarding it for 4. Goes down to 2. Alright, so yeah, okay, so Hannah couldn't do it on her own. But at least it's now set up that, well, no matter what, Nim gonna take it out. Yeah. So with Disintegrating Scythe, because it deals the damage before you suffer the damage, you can use it to deal the 9 damage and then never triggering suffering the damage. So yeah, you can do that, but Voidborn to deal 3 damage, well 4, taking that out. That's all we needed. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but made a mistake. Venomite should have triggered before drawing the new card, Servitude to Evil. Persistent, the player with the lowest life suffers 2, or any player discards a pair of spell that costs 3 or more. Of course, we didn't want to take any damage, so we would just discard an Amplify Vision over from Sadhana, so that would have been 4 less damage, so it goes back to 4, plus the 2 from that it was left with otherwise, so 6 health, but it wouldn't change the outcome whatsoever. Of course, we have this Disintegrating Scythe, and we can still use the Voidborn for the 4 damage over here, bringing it down to 2, and then using that to cast Amplify Vision over here for 3 damage, going down to 0 anyway. So yeah, everything would have been fine. It was just forgot to do that. Sorry about that. That's all we needed. Okay, so it looked quite bleak. We were really close. We didn't need the Gravehold healing, but it was nice to have it in backup in case we got exhausted, and then we could also transfer a lot of the damage from the Nims, the Yuts, sorry, onto Gravehold and survive that way. So yeah, clutch. Got a bit clutch at the end. But we pulled it off quite confidently, I would even say, yeah, if I can allow myself to say that. Sahana almost took it down herself at the end, just missing 2 damage. We lost a lot of momentum because we had to keep discarding cards early on. We were forced to do so, it was not even a choice. We missed the timing on discarding on Vow and Sky. yeah, on the good timing we risked that. That's my mistake, that's my bad, but at least we were never punished for that. Well, we got kind of punished because Nim had to discard, instead slowing him down, getting the way of the blasting staff, disintegrating scythe, so we only used it once. Yeah, had it coming a bit there. It's what it is. It was nice with the Void Bond, Amplify Vision over there to make sure that Sahana wouldn't go down, so we mitigated some risks there instead, so it kind of turned out alright because we wouldn't have bought the Void Bond otherwise. You know, yeah, comes and goes. Good game. That is the last of the Nemesis that I was, from the first expansion, the first wave of expansions. And there is one mage that I haven't gotten to play here against on Extinction mode, Reeve, but I'll probably showcase some gameplay with her at some point. Yeah, and I hope to begin to play against the mage, the War Eternal. I am playing it through it with some friends right now, so we'll probably wait a bit until we've played it a bit, so I don't get too far ahead in the meta of War Eternal and that kind of stuff. They are new players anyway. Good. Please comment on how you think the setup was and how it worked out, and give some criticism, and well, show that you're hyped for Extinction mode actually being doable with these wacky setups. I don't think this is the most optimal setup, but it managed to utilize some of the key things that are in the depths. Well, disintegrating scythe, I suppose. One instance of Voidborn. Good. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you in another video down the line. We'll see how it goes.